Everyone, Flaming Footy here, and welcome back to a new YouTube video on the channel. And today, guys, here we are to continue my AFL 23 Adelaide Crows My Coach Crew mode. And in today's episode, here we are for episode 9, round 8. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking on Geelong at GMHBA Stadium, probably the toughest place to play, or one of the toughest places to play in the AFL. And look, it's not going to be an easy task either. They're 6th, we're 12th. If you haven't gone ahead and checked out last week's episode, please go ahead and do so now. But last week was a couple of weeks ago though, because unfortunately enough, last week my recording messed up, and this episode versus Collingwood, I believe, isn't out there. So I'm really sorry about that, because this was probably the best game this Coach Crew mode has had. It was really intense. Probably the Carlton game was probably a little bit better than this one, but look, we won by 5 in the end. We dragged ourselves over the line despite a Collingwood side which came hunting, and we missed a lot of our chances, but in the end, accuracy didn't cost us in the end. And here are some other stats. If you guys want to see them, you guys can look at those as well. But yeah, unfortunately enough, this one didn't get out there, which was devastating, because this was such a good game. And then the week prior, of course, the most recent episode, which has been out, was the one over Hawthorn, where we comfortably walked over them. The door was ajar for them for most of the game, but we still comfortably got over them. And this week now, we're playing Geelong at GMHBA. It is no easy fare, and I think we leave the side as it was. Jones did nothing last week, so I am going to have to replace him with... I mean, it's tough as to who can go in that forward line, but I think I'm just going to have to put Murphy back in there. I think, yeah, because we had the choice between McHenry and Murphy and all that, but I think that's the thing which we roll with this week. So, yeah, now we're going to be doing that again, because it just makes us do it again. Alright, and now we can head on to Saturday. We can have a look at some of the other results which have happened. Which it was Brisbane defeating Carlton and Richmond defeating West Coast, and obviously the latter before we go. This is a big game. The thing I did in the previous AFL Evolution 2 is stakes, and I'll bring that back. We'll bring back the stakes this year, because it's fun doing a little bit of a preview and prediction. So if we win, our percentage is poor among the other 3 and 4 clubs, but we could probably lift ourselves into 11th, depending on the Gold Coast result as well, and potentially the Western Bulldogs game. But if we do lose 3 and 5, and next week's clash versus the Saints, I know will be quite a big one. But anyway, though, we are heading to GMHBA. They will be in their home. Yeah, we'll be now away, and it is time to go to GMHBA Stadium to play as Adelaide and the Adelaide Crows. My Coach Crew mode is Geelong versus Adelaide, and I will see you guys there. See you there. Alright, this week is a massive week for this football club. We've got to go out there, we've got to play confident. We've won 3 in a row, so there's no saying that we can't beat the Cats at GMHBA. It's a very tough trip, it's a very tough game, and the Cats are one of the premier sides of the competition. We know that, they're one of the best teams in the competition. With all their star-studded players, we know it's going to be tough. So we're going to have to play really well if we want to beat them, and accuracy this week is going to matter. Last week, luckily enough, it didn't matter. The Cats have won the toss, they're kicking to the left of the screen. GMHBA Stadium, Saturday afternoon football, here we go. And O'Brien starts it off in a perfect way for us. He wins the hit out, but it came to the outer for the Cats. Radigalia, don't know what he's doing in the forward line. Rowan, and that will be a dream start for Geelong at GMHBA. They play the venue so well. A nice quick shooting hand pass there. Are already looking under a bit of trouble. So Berry just handballed it to nobody. Stewart, and now the army comes. Look at Jake Saligo just walk up the middle of GMHBA. Now he has his sights on the goal, and he kicks it. So Gary Rowan has already looked good today. He's already got a goal, and he'll get it through for the Cats second, and his second goal. All to Radigalia, who was all on his own. And we've conceded the 3rd of the game. Cameron, now to close. It is another, and this is a walk in the park for Geelong. No problem at the moment. Segel, look at how easy that is. You can't be doing that. Getting a bit annoyed now. He could have walked that to the goal line. Gary Rowan's going to end up on the end of another one here, and it is going to be yet another Geelong goal. Clinical outing so far from Geelong. Berry, believe it or not, paid a mark. It's quarter time. So of course the siren does sound right when we're about to get our best opportunity of the quarter. That's just typical. But yeah, again, you guys can see all the stats, inside 50s, everything going against us at the moment. Everything going against us. We've been disastrous, and you may as well call the game over from here, because we're not going to win. But we might be able to fight. But yeah, I think a win is well and truly out of our reach already, which disappointing episode to say the least at quarter time. We're going to have to change something if we want to win. But yeah, if we don't have a good quarter this quarter, it will be game over for sure. So big quarter here coming up. And no doubt about it, it's got to go through. I mean, Taylor Walker's had some big weeks with some big numbers in the past couple of weeks. I believe he's gold medal leader at the moment. And there's something to put a smile on our faces. Sam Berry. Big kick, needs to go through, does go through. Cuts the margin back to 43. And nearly, but we've got numbers. Keys, Thilthorpe. Here we go. Good opportunity here with Isaac Rankin. He does not miss those. Those are the easiest. Unbelievably good kick. O'Brien to Ben Keys. Oh no. Isaac Rankin now. Can he kick it? You bet he can. Better quarter. Darcy Fogarty on half time, and he would have kicked it as well. That's the frustrating thing. We should be down by 30. Instead, we're down by 36, but it is Geelong 11-4-70, Adelaide 5-4-34 at the half-time break. Alright, here we go. So it is now the half-time show. A quick little rundown. These are the stats. Inside 50's getting there. We're getting there on some of these stats. And look, the Cats are a hard side to play, and we just gave up a really silly late goal due to that kick-in button kick not working. Now, in terms of our highest goal scorer, it's been Rankin with 2, so he's looking to take back that gold medal thing, and yeah, Fogarty on the siren should have had it, but unfortunately enough he didn't, and yeah, a little bit disappointing there. But look, we can't be disheartened by that. We've just got to keep on going, keep on rolling this game through, and I think the key to us winning is having a good third quarter, because we saw how good our performance was down that end, and that's where the Cats had a very good first quarter. So if we can limit them this quarter and kick a couple of goals ourselves, we might still be a sneaky chance. So let's go inside 50. Radagalia popped across, took the mark, and kicks a goal. Smith dropped one he'd normally take, and it allowed Tui to come through and slam it through. Out the back, Murphy, Fogarty, take your pick, Murphy. Kicks it inside 50. On the lead was Gary Rowan. It didn't affect Gaza. He pops it through to Gary Rowan. O'Brien. Rory Sloane. It's three-quarter time, just when we had another good opportunity. I think like every siren in this game has had an opportunity for us to score, and we haven't scored because of the siren. We probably would have, but Cats have smashed us in clearance. Everything else, like they've smashed us in tackles as well. It is still impossible to lay a tackle, but most of the other stats are actually relatively even, some which we're actually winning in. So it's just they've smashed us out of clearance, and they're getting first use of the football. That's what's killing us. And it's like we're going with the good end in the last quarter. We need 10 goals if we want to win the game. It's just about impossible, but let's just see what sort of percentage we can try and get back, because we can't afford to be losing this much percentage, especially when we could be contending for the top 8 later on in the year. But here we go, this is the final quarter underway. He should have known what was coming. Now it's Smith. Blasts it down the line, he wants Isaac Rankin. Nearly found him. Laird. Rankin. Blasts it. You are kidding me. You should not be able to do that. I tapped the O button. It's a floater that just worked its way back to perfection from Isaac Rankin. He's going to have 2 really easy opportunities that he shouldn't miss. So he's already kicked 1 today. There's number 2. Cuts the margin to 49. And there's the siren. And a tough day it was indeed. Geelong 16-703, Adelaide 8-7-55. So we get beaten by 8 goals, 48 points in the end, but it's not all doom and gloom. There was a couple of positives. and I thought that second quarter was the real big one, and we matched them for quarters 2 and 4. But yeah, it was just that first quarter which was just ridiculous. If we had have only let them had a 20-point lead at quarter time, so that we might have actually fought a little bit better. Definitely disappointing enough that we couldn't get the job done in the end, but it's the toughest road trip in football. What are you meant to say? Yeah, going down there is impossible to play, and only few and good sides can go down there and beat Geelong. And obviously that does give us a fierce reality check, and I think a reality check which we needed. Last week against Collingwood, which I know that you guys didn't see the reaction, but things were high, things were good. It was an upset win, it was a win that was crazy, and this week is just a reality check which we probably needed. We got smashed in clearance, we smashed in tackles. Inside 50s were even at 31-31, but they were just so much better going inside 50. We got smashed in contested marks as well. But yeah, in the end our team just wasn't good enough to match one of the best sides in the comp, and we know how good the Cats are. Rankin kicked 3, Walker kicked 2, so at least our main players still were on and had relatively good enough days. Sloan was really good as well, I thought, because he's probably been flying under the radar as well. It'll be really interesting to see who our club best and fairest is at the end of the year. But yeah, now it'll be to Geelong singing the song, which again, because it's not us, I can talk over. But yeah, there is Geelong singing the song, but yeah, it's disappointing for sure. Definitely disappointing that we couldn't get the job done, but again, they're a good side. They were inside the top 8. Last week versus Collingwood was a good win, one which we probably shouldn't have won, which we did. And this week versus Geelong is a fierce reality check. And now this does make next week's game versus St Kilda all the more interesting. Anyway, because next week versus St Kilda, obviously, as we know, is a really big game, and I think that's going to be a critical contest now. So yeah, there's your best on ground. But yeah, I think next week's game versus St Kilda is critical. We lost a ton of percentage. I think we lost about 6%. Yeah, it's definitely devastating that we lost that much percent. But yeah, you can see that this was the rest of the results. So yeah, you guys can just go through them. How did the Saints do last week? They lost to North, but North are actually a good side in this Coach Career mode this year. After trailing for most of the game, coming back late and last. So here we go. Let's see, what else have we got? So this round we're playing the Saints, the Adelaide Oval. It's a big game, as we know, and that will be next episode now. The Saints are 15th. They're 8 on points. How have their last couple of weeks been? Because we don't really need to do a lot this post-game. So they defeated Port. We'll go back one more week. They lost to Carlton by 3. They defeated Port by 28. Then they lost to North by 3. This is going to be a good game. Back at the Adelaide Oval where we play our best football. And now to the ladder. So every club has lost a game. North Melbourne and Melbourne, the front runners at the moment. We have lost touch with the top 8. At the moment it's 5-3. Richmond, the side which is in the top 8. Got a couple of teams on 4-4. And you just wonder how costly a game like that will be. And, well, I'll set it up for you now. Really costly. Really, really, really costly, that game. Is like for our percentage and all that. St Kilda have a better percentage than us. And next week's going to be a good game. So, obviously, as you guys, you know the drill. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so then you can see that episode as soon as it comes out. But really disappointing game, that one. An unfortunate loss to Geelong. We'll go to statistics now. We can still just have a little look at some of the Coleman medal, which Walker's leading, then Rankin. So Taylor Walker's on 20, Rankin's on 18, Green's on 18. That's Toby Green, and there's a bit of separation. So that's big. And we do play the Giants later on in the year as well. Let's see when that'll be. When will that clash be? Got Lions, Suns, Eagles, bye in 14. Collingwood, North. Where's that Gold Coast game? Where are we? Oh yeah, Essendon. Giants. There we go. So that's going to be a Channel 7 game on Sunday afternoon around 18. That's a big game, which will probably end up helping us decide the Cold medal. But anyway, though, enough of this. enough of this episode. We've got a big game coming up next week versus the Saints, so make sure that you are here to see that episode. Thank you guys, it was so much for watching. Please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Send you guys and then miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Bye everyone, Flame Footy out.